You're back.
I'm back.
Yep. I was looking at that. I posted a link in the other thing. Um, it looks like that reverse tie-dye thing.
Uh-huh.
When they add the color, they add color back into it at the end of the process, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, you had a T-shirt on a couple weeks ago, and I was going to look in the closet. I've got one that has an 8-inch floppy disk on the front of it.
Oh,
It's verbatim.
cool.
It's like uh, people just don't even understand what that an 8-inch floppy looks like. Uh,
Well, in that context, anyway.
well, you try to stuff that T-shirt in the drive, and it won't take it. We had at work some uh, Rainbow Computers, I believe was the trade name.
Oh, those are Digital Equipment Corporation, the jobbies.
And they had drives in those that sounded like they were grinding corn. It's like you couldn't hear anything else in the office when they were operating. I don't know why they were so loud.
We've got Kenny coming back in.
He's back.
There he is.
Top part of his head is anyway.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So you said VLC player is what I should download.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be able to play DVDs for you.
Okay. Yeah,
it's a free program. I guess you can donate to their project or whatever if you really want to, but it's free to download, and it just works.
Just about everybody has that.
Do what?
Just about everybody has that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not the one that's got it.
You're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave me HEVC video. They said that I should need to install HEVC. And I said, I don't know. And installing stuff gets me in trouble.
That is a codec. Yeah, you may have to install it.
What is it?
When video files are created, they're usually encoded with some form of compression or something, and the codec will tell it how to uncompress it so that you can watch it.
It's
Okay.
a decompression code.
Yeah, it's a high efficiency video coding, but it's basically compression.
So it takes decompresses the code then on DVD.
I don't think you'll need that with VLC player. There's a possibility, but I think VLC player already knows how to decode like probably 99% of the DVDs.
Okay.
So
No, this I bought it on Amazon. Okay, I like that little program, Dead Like Me. It's on the air for like 2 years. I saw it on channel 64,
mm-hmm.
and but it's there's nothing pirated about it at all. So, but when I went to Windows 10, it wouldn't play.
Yeah, you try VLC player.
Okay.
That's a shortcut. Take a shortcut. VLC player. That's it.
VLC play. I put a link. I put a link to it in the chat room.
Yeah, I
For
saw
you.
that.
Okay.
A friend of mine was had been a double E communications technology in Dallas, and he and his wife decided to go with RLDS Church and become missionaries in Bolivia. So they were down there for a couple of years, and then the church said, "Oh, we're out of money. You're on your own." And they'd already sold their home, all their vehicles, gotten rid of all their possessions, and had moved to Bolivia and been there, like I said, for 3 years. They spent another 10 years there. And they would occasionally come up to the United States to visit. And they came by our house one time and said, in Bolivia, we get first run movies on DVD before they come out in the theaters in the United States. And so we picked these up, and you're more than welcome to have whichever ones you want. So we kind of looked through them and said, oh, there's Captain Phillips. We hadn't seen it at the time. We thought, that's pretty cool. Thank you very much. And a couple of weeks went by, and we decided to play it. So we threw it in there, and the Somali pirates are speaking whatever language the Somali pirates speak. And Julie and I, neither one of us could speak Somali pirate or understand it. So we said, we'll turn on the closed captioning. So we went to the closed captioning on this. We had two choices, Spanish or Chinese. We still don't know what the Somalis were saying.
Great choices.
Yeah.
My one of my nieces, probably 6 months ago, man, it's probably been a year now. She was doing some missionary work down on the southern border in California, and didn't know a lick of Spanish when they moved down there, or when she moved down there. By the time she got back home, she was speaking fluent Spanish. And she could read it, she can write it. Just throw her in there. She figured
So how
it
young
out.
was she?
She's 18 or 19 now.
Yeah.
She might be a little older now. She's right out of high school, so. But that's where the church sent her,
Okay.
without knowing anything at all about Spanish.
Por favor, señor, cracker pronto.
Look, it's Frank. He's in outer space tonight.
Yes. Jim's still looking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's hard dodging those fan blades.
Follow me around.
Yeah, puts it on high. It gets exciting around here.
Well, if you have a laser pointer, you can lay on the floor and try to see if you can keep up with the revolutions of the fan with the laser pointer.
Anything going on, Frank?
Yeah, a few things. I got my, I'm preparing for the camp, and I got my PHP server running and MySQL and that kind of thing. Actually, I could show you kind of one of the like demo test problems. Setting up PHP is both very, very easy, and it can be very hard because there's some just real simple stuff that you can miss and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
if you know about these little things, then it only takes 5 minutes, but you can spend a day. So it's on this server called discovery.hiltronics.net. I'm gonna connect to it. Let me share it. We go through some of this. So where is it?
Frank, it's not that I'm disinterested, but I have to leave. So
Okay.
don't take this personally.
Let's see you later.
Well, you've been here. I just got here. So
Well, I'm not leaving because you just got here. I'm not leaving because you're here. I'm not leaving because you're short of stuff. I'm leaving because I gotta leave.
We'll see you later.
Take care. I have actually I have 2 servers that I use for the camp. One is Windows and the other one is Ubuntu. And I'm sort of relearning a lot of stuff about Linux.
Yeah.
And I was talking before about my email, and I'm at the point now where I've got the email working, but I'm trying to do virtual domain, that is, host more than one
Mm-hmm.
domain on the same server. And so there's the trick. Okay. Now let me see if I can share this thing.
Should be able to.
I should be able to.
Should be able to.
I get all of this stuff in the, these windows going in.
Try to figure out which window it is.
Yeah, which is which. All right, so let me get back to us. And this is kind of wacky. Because that's okay, there's a connection. Share. That's not the connection.
That's not it.
Oh, okay, let me stop this. See, what I have is I brought up the remote desktop. Let me open it up. Okay, now it's opened. Now let me see if I can share it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There you go.
This is a Windows server. I know you guys don't do Windows.
Oh, they do Windows. I don't do Windows.
This is actually the little application. And actually, what you see here is like site.localhost on port 88 and it's index.php, which is, it's the kind of thing that you would have, let's say, an intermediate student build. They're not going to start with this. They start by just learning HTML, and they learn a little bit about CSI. And then eventually I show them PHP. And this is a page from a site that's built under PHP. And it's not terribly complicated. This is kind of like the home page. And it just collects data. And if you click on add, it gives you a little dialog box, and I can add Charlie. Let me give my whole name. Charlie. And Charlie will be 14. And Edwin, gmail.com. And then I would click add. And
Oh,
and this is what you get when you crash. Now,
We have a
this,
fatality.
yeah, this should not have crashed. This has been working. So what did I mess up here? Charlie@gmail.com. Okay, let's crash it. Okay, let's crash it and see what it says. The target machine refused the connection. That's this machine. And it's line 21 of the config.php. I don't remember changing that, but what we'll do is just go ahead and look at it. Line 35. The first thing was there was no connection. And that's in the config.php file. Now that most likely is the problem. And this follow on, which is where you're trying to insert something into a database,
Hello.
failed. Who is that?
Vicente's here.
Oh, hi, Vicente.
Uh,
I'm messing up a PHP program here. So, oh no, that's not what I want to do. Let me do this. Let me go to where stuff is located at. And sort of a classic setup is you would have your PHP or the Apache stuff. Apache is the web program, and in the what am I looking for? Let me go back to Apache, and then you have a config folder, which is where all the config stuff is. And then this would be the program, htt config. So I'm going to right click it and check that. Let's just edit it, Notepad. And it was complaining about line 1. There's nothing wrong with line 1. Okay, while I'm here, there's only a few things in this program. Basically, you get the folders, get all the files, and then there's some things that you need to uncomment and enter. And one of them is the server root. Server root this is the folder that's on the C drive, and instructions usually tell you is you unzip it and you take the contents and you just put it in this folder, Apache 24. And this is the location of the root. That one you have to fix. I have this listening on 2 ports. I have it listening on port 80 and port 8080. The PHP directory is the same thing. That's where you all have all the PHP interpreter stuff. And generally this is where it goes. You can put it other places, but C:, folder name PHP. You have these load modules that most of these will be configured, but sometimes part of the problem is you'll have one that you need to have either added or uncommented to make something work. But most of this stuff it just comes standard when you unload it. Let me see something. Okay, and I just add this is that if there's a failure, this is the server admin email address. But it doesn't make any difference. When you're doing this for practice, you don't want anybody sending you anything. And the root is a folder called htdocs, and this is standard. Is that whatever your server root is /htdocs. Okay, now if it's normally you're going to get this and it's going to just have like index.html, which means that the first file, when you go to a URL is index.html. you can make it PHP. If it's a PHP site, then the preference goes to index.php. If you don't have index.php, it's going to look for index.html. So this is kind of one of those standard things that you need to straighten out. And is that me?
That's a driveway monitor. That means there's a cat at the front door.
This is something else that I had to add type, and I'm not sure what this thing does. I just know I need to add it.
Well, I'm gonna have to leave, so have fun.
Okay, who's leaving?
See you later.
Oh, the guy that always leaves.
That was a MIME type. It told
Yeah.
told HTTP how to handle the PHP files.
Okay. Looks like I'm just about done. All right, so this looks like it's straight, and you know what I will tell you, and this stuff that always happens is you'll have something that's working, and then you'll use it and it won't work. But if I look at this looks good right now, so I'm going to say that that's not the problem. And normally, you don't want to be going through these kind of things. There's another error file that you would look at when you have problems like this. Okay, so let's go to logs and let's look at the errors. And I would go down and see what's happening today, because I just used it today. February 4th. Okay. This is just a warning. The errors are the ones that you look at. Index, that's today. It says index.php was not found. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay.
I was at 1,400 hours, I think.
Yeah, it was 2
At
o'clock.
GFT or
Okay.
3
This is
o'clock.
18.
something. That's us.
This warning just says that you couldn't connect to PHP. And kind of traditionally, this may have been left out in the configuration file, but I know it wasn't left out. So it may be that the database is just not connecting, which is most likely the problem. Like, normally this would be something that I would go through by myself silently, but since I'm explaining this thing, what I'm going to guess the real problem now is the database is not connected. But what I'm going to do first is just go back to that website and just verify that to myself before I start messing with the database. So I'm going to take this out and go to the root. Crashing all over the place. Take the 80 off. Oh my God. not the thing that you usually want to do when you're doing a demo. Okay. Now this actually worked. This is actually on that same site, but this is something that I loaded in on the, I loaded this on the master site, and it's not something that this is just a program that I copied just to make sure that PHP was working. So PHP is working. This is actually something that you could get into externally too, but I'm trying to operate just off the site. See if I have better luck again. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to do site 1. And on the, okay, it's a database. It's a problem with the database because I'm trying to do a select here and it's not working. And I guess what I was getting is that even on the first page, you have to access the database. So for the database, I would do, usually there's something called MySQL query browser that I would bring up and see if the database is working. What's the best way?
There's some confusion between Boolean and integer values, huh?
Yeah. Even though, you know, when I look at this, I don't really go that deep. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something that should be visible. And I don't see it. Okay, you guys are looking too. What I'm looking for is MySQL query browser. Okay, MySQL workbench, no, MySQL workbench. MySQL query browser was the product before that.
It's a
MySQL.
little bit.
There it is.
Yep. I'm pointing at it. You can't see me pointing at it. I'm pointing at it.
This thing is loading slow, but I would almost bet that somehow the connection to the database has been lost. And this is not normally something that happens. Usually, you know, once it's connected, it's just connected.
No connection.
No connection, okay. And still not connecting. Now, if you wanted to go deeper, you would look at what is running. You look at services. Services. That's the Windows services. And this is one of them. And Apache is running. And there should be something called MySQL 80. which is the service for the database. MySQL 80.
It's not running.
Okay, let's start the service. And I have no idea why it stopped. Usually it doesn't stop, but this thing hasn't been up that long, so there are bugs. Okay. This is the home page. And let me see if I can edit. All right, that works. And you have edit, you have delete, and add. Now, when I went into this hole, I was adding data. So let me try it again. Okay, Charles. Age 14. Okay. It says field is empty. Go back. I didn't put an email address there. And I'm going to add it. So now it added, and we have the results. And this is kind of like a 4-page, just kind of a minor program. And what I would do with the kids is I may give them something like this, and then I would have them add fields to it, and maybe add another sheet for something, just whatever I'm feeling like at the time. Do things with the look of the website. And this is after they, know HTML pretty good, and they're kind of getting their feel for PHP. And this has all of the standard things that you would do with any database application. You're going to add data, you're going to remove data, you're going to delete and edit. And so if you can do this, if you had to have different logic, then you're going to do these basic functions and then whatever other logic you want. So I won't go in. Let me delete something just to make sure that will work. I just added Charlie. Let me delete him. Okay, so this would be something that they would do in PHP in the learning mode. In competition, the problem would be much harder. They give you 3 pages of specification, and you get, in the classic competitions where we had to go to the site, you get 8 hours to produce the database or produce the whole application, make it work, and do a good sales job as to why you should win. And for something like this, they can run this off their computer at home, or they could run it off to the server. All of the software used for this thing is free, so you don't have to spend any money, and you build some good skills. And so for that part of the training, which usually comes later on, I'm done. All right, I'll show you one more thing, which is what should start happening next week with the sort of the first phase of the camp. So let me stop sharing this one. And then I'm gonna go to another one, another website. Oh, that's fine. Actually, I could do it from here. Just do another tab. Well,
We're down to about 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
all right, I need one more.
I was just letting you know. No
Okay.
big deal.
All right, so this is a camp And this is kind of classically, what is done. Like the first week, you build this calculator, and it's
You
an
need
HTML
to share your
calculator.
screen.
Oh God, let me share the screen. Ooh. It's because I don't have any time. I thought I had already shared the screen.
It's all right.
Okay, now let me share the screen. And okay, that's back where we were. And here's the tab. Now, classically, I haven't built a calculator. I used to have my students at Cincinnati State do it. Just you can tell if you can type or if you can read code and not make mistakes. And generally, within about an hour, you can get this thing and get it working. There's another Windows application that we may or may not do. We'll probably do it this year, which is a Visual Basic airplane ticket application. And it is in itself a calculator. You collect some money, you multiply by the number of tickets, and you have a GUI. This is also one that you can add to. This one is the one that's the Android phone. This is a little bit more difficult, and it's not because of the code, it's because of the tool. So I might not do that one. They will build like a simple website. It'll be a custom website as a group. Here's one I just clicked on from previous year. This is for gamers. More than functional, it's about looks. And it has like 4 pages. And so that's just an example. And so they do that for a while. Then Leroy's seen these Arduino things. These are like some trainers that I have where, you learn how to detect switches and how to turn lights on and off, things like that. And you'll get to a stoplight controller, which is a hardware piece I have. And they learn how to sequence bits and make this simulator run as a stoplight. Then this is the robot thing, which is kind of the most fun that they have. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do it. Maybe put a camera on it. I still need to learn how to remote all this stuff, but this is going to happen later. I still have the 3D printer, same one I had before, and they use Tinkercad to program this 3D printer. And this can work exactly the way it worked before, because what they do is they will create their .stl file and they send it to me. And then it takes me a whole week to print all the stuff that they created. And if we have enough time, we'll do Internet of Things kind of application, with a water sensor or, just whatever I have for them. Usually we don't get into that too far. They will do a presentation to their parents on, what they've been doing over the weeks. And that's sort of the end of the first phase. And kids that get picked, they go on to learn how to program websites. And some of them are glad to get through this section because they don't like this stuff. Some of them love this stuff. So, they want to go on and become developers and that kind of stuff. And usually those kids, I'll end up usually working with them for like 3 years, and they go off to college. And I guess for the kids who've gone off to college in previous years, they're going to be around to help out this year with the younger kids. The kids are going to be younger because last year we didn't go very far because the virus thing came up. We had to leave Cincinnati State. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We're down to under 30 seconds or so.
have a new camera,
Cool.
finally.
Oh, yeah, looks
Did-
good.
Did you get to the auction?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have,
We're out of time.
auction.
Bye.
We're out of time, guys. See
What
see
auction?
you next